But of course the European Union, all they want to see is the cheapest fuel brought in from outside the European Union. They want to close down, as they have done, not only the coal industry, but the steel industry, the shipbuilding industry, light and heavy engineering, and the motor car industry. They've destroyed Britain's manufacturing base. In 1951, 80% of our economy was based in manufacturing, supporting 20% in supply and service. That's why we could afford to pay pensions and afford the NHS and education. Today, we've only got 20% in manufacturing, supporting 80% in supply and services. And that's why we've got a crisis of the magnitude that now is even recognised by our most ardent critics. I want to say this to you. They've introduced 5 major treaties in the European Union, all designed to try and weaken the democracy and the power and the authority of ordinary men and women. I want to warn people in Scotland, for example, like my colleague here, who needs no convincing. I've never heard such bloody hypocrisy in my life from people like Alex Salmon, who talks about an independent Scotland. Well, don't get me wrong, if that's what the people of Scotland want, I'm for it. But I can't see the sense of having an independent Scotland to give it away to an unelected bureaucrat in Brussels in contradictory terms. There's only one country being allowed the vote on the Treaty Lisbon. The Treaty of Lisbon, which will take away more and more of your own sovereignty and power. You're more and more dependent upon their decisions for taxation and for legislation. And that country's Ireland, and I'm half Irish. My advice is simple. I say to the people of Ireland, if you vote in this referendum, yes, you will be betraying the centuries of struggle of those who fought for an independent Ireland. They haven't fought for an independent Ireland to give it away to the unelected bureaucrats in Brussels. And you should vote no on the 10th of June. Education, education, education. Well, they ain't been doing bad. Have you seen their expenses in the papers today? They even pay for Sky, Richard, on their expenses. Our MPs, they're not looking after themselves, and all the time drawing with expenses around £160,000 a year, telling people on a pension of £90, 70p a week that we can't afford anymore.
Dad, you get quite
telling people that we can't afford to pump money into our education system. We can't afford not to. If we're serious, we've got to have an education system that makes sense and creates for tomorrow people who are able and capable of dealing with the challenges that lie ahead. We've got a transport system that almost beggars belief. If you know which train to catch, I'll tell you this, you're a computer expert. You get on one train, sorry sir, this ticket's not valid on this train. It's not off-peak. You can't go from here to there. Just think of all those critics of the nationalised British Rail, when you can get on a train and you can get off it and on another train and go where the hell you want. I'll tell you what's needed. We need to say very clearly, we're sick and tired of what you've done. It's time we said clearly, we want a real environment in Britain. We want the juggernauts off the roads in Britain that are creating pollution and danger and back onto the rail. And we want the rail system back to public ownership. I'll tell you what else we want. We want the trams reintroducing in all cities and towns. We want a sensible link. And we want to protect the environment. Why don't we open our waterways again? Like they do in Europe, and utilise them. And instead of 45-ton trucks going along the motorway, let the freight go by rail or by waterway. It's a sensible thing to do, and it's an obvious thing to do. The environment, what's causing the pollution? Well, they would have you believe it's coal. Well, it isn't. I've got the figures. According to the latest statistics, 81.5% of all our pollution towards the greenhouse effect is produced by oil and gas. Not surprising, bearing in mind what they've done. They closed coal mines. They closed a valuable source of energy and began to use gas, which should have been conserved. It would have made sense, although it would have been nonsense, had the economics been right. But figure this out. When they did it, to generate a coal-fired station was 1.9 pence per kilowatt hour. To generate electricity from a gas station was 2.4 pence per kilowatt hour. And for the benefit of that MI5 agent, 2.4 pence is more than 1.9 pence.